2 years back, I had built a vehicle for Sparco and Scion, a marketing vehicle, show vehicle for one of their events. And the theme of the build was a rally build. And that car was received well. It looked great. Corporate, Sparco and Scion asked what would be the next step for this because it was really well received. So I suggested we build one that'd be ready to race, and that's what we did last year. We tested to see if it could race. We put it into two rally events, and that did really well. And so here we are this year. Both programs, both companies wanted to see an evolution of that, and that evolution is to continue on racing and developing the program, and here we are today. We're racing.
Every project that Gordon is involved with, Scion, we've basically been involved with. Initially, last season, we just supplied few components like gauges, and he has mentioned towards the end of last year that he was looking for more power to be a little bit more competitive. He was pretty successful all year through the whole 2010 series, but he has mentioned that he needed a little bit more power and started inquiring about possibly turbocharging. And one concern that he had was reliability. And for us, we're not too familiar with rally racing, but we were familiar with turbocharging a street car, which is driven every day. So we were pretty confident of providing him with a pretty good package with reliability and also serviceability, which is, I guess, important for rally as well in the service stage. So we started discussing towards the end of last year, and this year after his Detroit event, we really wanted to really discuss that in more detail. And we sat down and said, okay, what can we do?
The crew chief basic duties are a lot of organization actually. It's not just being a mechanic on the car, which initially is what I first thought. It's actually getting the team together, getting us on time for every service because it's only 30 minutes. So getting them organized with what everybody's going to do, everything down from the tools, what bolts you're going to tighten. That's my job, and to take that stress off the team manager. I worry about the car. It's hard to organize a team for rally because we don't know what to expect. So a normal rally team has an engineer for every part of the car, and maybe a specialist for the engine and for the transmission, one for the suspension, one for the chassis itself. But our team is kind of a new team. We're comprised of, I would say, a bunch of amateurs who just enjoy, racing and being competitive, and we believe in this car and we believe in the team. So that's how we've all come together. We do have our specialties, like at this event here in Olympus, we have Kenji from Greddy, who's the engine specialist. He's helping to tune the car. I'm from Tane, and helping with the suspension. Of course, we have the fabricators who built the car. We know everything about the car. So yeah, I think we cover that range pretty well. But there's always surprises.
The most exciting thing about rallying is that it's incredibly hard. On track racing, we say you go around 13 corners 1,000 times each, but in rallying you go through 1,000 corners once each. And it's super challenging. You're out in the elements. You're basically battling Mother Nature, on these incredibly difficult dirt country roads. Whereas, on the track you're battling wheel to wheel, which is kind of cool too, and I've done that. Here, you and your co-driver, and then by extension your team that's back in the service area, are fighting to get a car, a production-based car, through incredibly improbable circumstances. Basically, you're trying to do something that a car has never been designed to do, and do it faster than anybody else. A lot of the fastest rally cars are all-wheel drive cars. You have great traction, you all 4 wheels to the ground with a turbocharged engine, and that's typical for rally cars. But a lot of my previous experience when I started out rallying was from 2-wheel drive cars, both rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive. And an interesting thing about front-wheel drive cars like the Scion XD is that with a technique called left foot braking, you can actually make a front-wheel drive car work extremely well in loose conditions because you can play the throttle and the brake at the same time, which allows you to control the angle of the car as it's coming through the corner. And what that means is that front-wheel drive cars can be extremely agile in rally circumstances. And because they have the weight over the front wheels and still get great traction, it's one of the things that makes a front-wheel drive car really safe and handled well on the street is all that weight on the front and the steering wheels having the power. So in rallying, that means that if you're going offline or you need to correct the line, you just point the wheels where you want to go and stay in the throttle, and it'll basically drag the whole car that way because that's the way it's set up. And we have the additional advantage of being able to use the left foot braking. So all in all, front-wheel drive is an extremely competitive rally platform too. The 2-wheel drive championship, I think actually maybe more competitive right now than even the all-wheel drive overall championship. You've got manufacturer support from Ford and some help from Mazda for some of the teams. We're working, of course, with Scion. But I think that we're facing some stiff competition. You guys like Dylan Van Wey, who's been becoming increasingly competitive in his Ford Fiesta. Wyatt Knox, very fast driver, driving a Mazda Speed 3. But the Scion team has done really well in developing the XD, taking up another level with a Greddy turbocharger and cane suspension of a really great spec. So we tested that stuff yesterday, and I think that the potential is really there. So I'm cautiously optimistic that we're going to get a great result. We haven't done a rally with the car yet, so I can't promise anything to anybody. You never can in rally because there's so many opinions. But I know that the car is solid, and I know that the team and the engineers and the support and the managers are great guys, and they're really thinking about how to make this successful. And so we're thinking about how to make this successful too. And part of this event and the next event will be, I think, a learning process where we all learn about how to work together and learn how to make rallying effective, but also make the car better and better. So that it may not be this event, but I expect soon that actually we'll have some champagne.